Hello, mouse fans. I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and we're going to take a look at the EVGA X17 FPS gaming mouse. Now, this is not a new mouse for the market. It's been around for a few years now, but it's still a relevant mouse in my opinion. This is the packaging. And this is the mouse. So as you can see, it's got an ARGB emblem of EVGA there. And here's the side view. You can see the roller, as well as there's a DPI and a profile button here. And then there's, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a simulation of a spaceship's engines or if it's just to look cool. And then on this side, we've got the browsing buttons. We've also got the sniper button, and this is not a button. So it's also got a nice long cord, and it comes with a Velcro strap. Now, the nice thing about the sniper button is that it allows you, when you are sniping or when you at other times when you need to, you can hold down the button and it'll slow down the mouse to the slowest possible DPI, which is half of the minimum normal DPI or dots per inch. Also, next to the browsing buttons, you see those three dots there? Those are actually buttons that tell you which profile or DPI mode you've chosen. The difference between profiles and DPI is, well, the DPI button, which is, I believe, it's the bottom button here. It just changes the DPI for you. The profile button is actually more than that. So it includes DPI, but it also includes some other settings like like what buttons are assigned to do what. So all of the buttons on the mouse, you can assign them to do anything from the list. They all have, in the program that you download, you can decide for each button from a drop-down menu what that button is going to do. So I don't personally like the sniper button being here. I find it a little bit awkward, and I don't really like having the browser buttons here. They tend to, accidentally get clicked by my big thumb. So I prefer to switch them around. And also, this is made for a medium hand. Now, my hand is almost large enough to palm a basketball. Not quite. I can't quite get that much of a grip on it, but almost. I start picking it up and then it falls. But so if you have really big hands or really small hands, I think especially if you have, if you have really big hands, I think it's just going to, like my hand is already overhanging, right? But that's not a significant deal. I do like the way it fits in my hand. Also, instead of just a single sensor, it has one, and then it has two, and then the other one is right there. So this helps it to better detect when you've lifted the mouse up off of the mouse pad, and you can configure how sensitive it is. Now, I want to show you their website. All right. So, first of all, it's got, obviously, high-speed USB connection, woo-woo. Triple sensors, like I just mentioned, and two of them are LOD sensors. And then the main one is a Pixart 3389. This allows a more advanced three-dimension array technology. So it's for me because I'm not a professional gamer, but if you're pro or semi-pro, you might find that useful. The tech algorithm can detect within a minimum of 0.4 millimeters to a maximum of 3 millimeters from the mouse to the surface, dynamically adjusting the best power off height. Don't forget, you do need the EVGA Unleash RGB software to make sure it's configured the way you want it. For the buttons, It's got a mechanical torsion spring preloaded with 10 grams of weight for the left and right buttons to keep the travel distance to a minimum. On the fly DPI, like I said, for the DPI button and the 5 onboard profiles. There are super low friction PTFE mouse feet. Designed for gamers. Oh, and it comes with that little package there, which contains 5 little 5-gram weights that you can insert inside of the mouse, which I'll demonstrate to you, in order to change how heavy it is. Some people may want their mouse to be really light, and some people prefer to have the mouse have some weight. I know Linus would definitely like it with weight, because every time he gets something that doesn't have enough weight, he complains, it feels cheap because it's so light. Blah, blah, blah. NVIDIA Reflex. So if you have NVIDIA, that might be useful for you. And here are the specifications. Let me just zoom in a little bit there so you can see them. Liftoff distance detection sensors, PixArt, maximum DPI 16,000, tracking speed is 400 IPS, acceleration 50 grams. The main switch type is the Omron 50 million click life cycle, 10 buttons, RGB lighting 3-zone, 103 grams without the cable, customizable up to 128 grams, 2 meter, wow, that's taller than me, 2 meter braided cable, a low friction PTFE feet, and then the dimensions. Let's take a look at this, which I'm going to tell you right now, this is kind of a pain in the butt to get into, especially for me because I have really, really flimsy fingernails. But I saw another reviewer, and they also had trouble getting it open. So there are the 5 weights. They're held in place with a dense foam. What you'll want to do here, I'm going to unplug this because it just keeps on disrupting my computer. This is the actual chamber for the weights, and it is held in place with a magnet. So all you've got to do is lift it out. And then however many of the weights you want in there, you just go ahead and add them wherever you feel. I mean, I suppose some people are so sensitive that they want them in particular positions, but this has got those 5 positions. And when you're done, you simply position it here. And there are 2 magnets, as you can see, neodymium magnets. And as soon as you get it close, it starts to snap into place just like that. So you don't have to really worry about it. A lot of mouses have a slide in that clicks into place, and eventually that'll break because it's made of plastic. But, you know, it does take a long time unless you're using it very, very frequently. And above the previously mentioned feet. So for me, I do like the mouse. I do feel like it's a little bit too low for me and a little bit too small for me. I like the traction rubber on the wheel. All the profiles, that's a lot more actually than I need. I don't need 5 different profiles. I'm not a semi-pro gamer. I'm too old for gaming. I mean, my abilities in gaming have gone way downhill. I prefer to just do like strategy and sniping, stuff that doesn't really require fast reaction times and stuff like that. What else can I say about it? It is a good deal, especially like I got this on sale really low, like I think half of what used to be the MSRP or something like that. So that was nice. I almost forgot to show you the lights. So whether you use the DPI button or their profile button, the lights will, again, they'll indicate what the setting is now. I find it kind of annoying because now you have to memorize the patterns so you know which DPI and which profile. I wish they had devised an easier to memorize system than that. Like, oh, I don't know, the numbers 1 through 5 or something crazy like that. But, you know, whatever. If you are into gaming, even if you're not a semi-pro, you just want a better experience with a mouse, this is definitely something to consider even now, even though it's been out for a few years. especially if you can't afford the newest one. If you can get this one for a deal, I think it's definitely a good alternative. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Need to ask for your help. I'm sorry. On December 11th, 2024, Amazon terminated me and used false accusations against me. And on December 17th, I had my left shoulder operated on. I'm getting a lot better. I can do some things with my hand and my arm, but it's still pretty limited. If you could please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications for my channels, that would really help. If you want to help me financially and you can afford to, you can go to my Glenn's Fast Reviews and you can do a super thanks as a donation there. If you want to donate on a monthly basis, you can become a member there. And or you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII. So thank you for that. Also, I'd like to say thank you to bleepingcomputer.com for allowing me to post messages on their forum about my videos. Thank you so much. And don't forget to visit them. They offer a lot of wonderful resources for people who are using computers. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.